A couple days ago, popular Muslim kick streamer Sneako visited Malaysia, where he toured the Batu Caves, a massive Hindu temple cave complex. While he was there, he also met with Zakir Naik, a Muslim apologist who has a long history of lying about Hinduism. So in this video, we'll play a couple of those clips and respond to some of those videos.
So how many gods are in Hinduism?
About 3 billion. But the avatars, they have their 3 billion gods.
Whole avatars.
3 billion?
Yeah.
But there's a trinity of main gods.
Trinity of main gods?
Yeah, I'm asking.
He understands what it is.
Top three.
It's the top three. So there's the top three more.
Top three is Murugan, Shiva, and Krishna.
Shiva. Murugan, Shiva, and Krishna.
Yeah.
This is probably one of the biggest misconceptions about Hinduism. When people bring up this topic, they usually bring up the number 33 million, not 3 billion. I'm not sure where he got that number from. But anyway, the phrase 33 million gods is a mistranslation. This is often understood as referring to 33 categories of devas, not literally 330 million separate supreme gods. I assume they're speaking about the Trimurti here. The Trimurti consists of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, not Murugan, Shiva, and Krishna. I understand that they are obviously in the Batu Caves, which is mainly dedicated to Murugan, but Sneako is obviously asking about the Trimurti when he's saying quote-unquote 3 main gods.
What makes those gods special?
They're unique in their own ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're more important than the 3 billion other gods?
Yeah, and Murugan is mainly for the god of victory.
So 3 billion, there's 8 billion people in the world, right?
Yeah.
There's almost half as many gods as people.
It doesn't work that way. It's avatars. That means
Incarnations
it's
of
him,
their...
but in another form.
Are you sure you're not Hindu? You know a lot.
Because we're Malaysian, bro. We
have
grow up
everything,
about
man.
Oh, okay. All right, so there's 3 main gods.
Yeah.
Is there a main number 1?
Main number one, I think, will be Murugan. Yeah.
And he's higher than Krishna and Vishnu.
No, Shiva is the first.
So Shiva's the main god.
Yeah, Shiva is the main guy.
the god of
The main,
destruction.
yeah.
The word God itself used in this context is not an appropriate way of saying it. When a Muslim like Sneako hears the word God used in a plural context, he assumes that they're talking about multiple supreme deities or multiple Brahmans, multiple capital G gods. This is absolutely not what Hinduism teaches. In Hinduism, we understand the Brahman is the supreme, infinite reality behind everything that exists. It is the all-knowing, all-powerful, omnipresent God. It is the first cause of all existence, the unmoved mover, and the ultimate source of the universe. But in Hinduism, we have the concept of the devas, which are basically lowercase g gods. Translating the word devas to mean multiple capital G gods is misleading. Devas are divine beings within the universe, but they're not the supreme being. They have finite lifespans and are subject to the cycle of rebirth. The word deva doesn't have a clear English translation, but it's similar to the concept of angels. But Hindus worship the god.
Why do you think the god of destruction is the main god? Wouldn't it be the god of creation?
He can also be called as god of creation, but he's mainly for the god of destruction.
So what does he destroy?
It's this thing that they say that, okay, he's a god of destruction because you don't make Shiva angry. So if Shiva angry, he
causes
destroys
destruction.
He causes destruction. So it's more to that side.
How do you make Shiva angry?
Since.
Okay. And what has Shiva destroyed?
Destroy the whole world.
He destroyed the world?
Yes.
Yeah.
When?
He could.
Has he before?
Yes. No.
I think I'm busy. He has before or no?
No.
He hasn't?
Unless you make him angry and you'll do that stuff.
Have you ever made Shiva angry?
Nope.
Okay.
I don't do any scenes.
Okay.
Like that statue right there, Lord Muruga. That is golden statue.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Lord Muruga.
Okay. And how do you make Shiva happy?
By not doing scenes.
By not doing sense.
Yes.
This is another misunderstanding. When Hindus are calling Shiva the destroyer, we do not mean Shiva is a malevolent or evil being who randomly destroys things when he gets angry. That is a very childish understanding of the word destruction. Destruction here means dissolution or transformation and renewal. It is the concept that out goes the old and in comes the new. When a fire burns a forest, it oftentimes makes fertile ground for new life to grow in. Creation, preservation, and destruction are all part of the cosmic cycle. Something is created, it exists for a time, and it eventually dissolves. Then creation begins again. That is the cyclic nature of time. So Shiva as a destroyer does not mean Shiva is evil. It means that Shiva is connected to the dissolution of the universe, the destruction of ignorance, and the destruction of ego, and the end of illusion. It is very clear that these two clearly don't know that much about Hinduism. They seem like normal people just trying to be helpful. But they don't know that Sneako is not just here to try to learn more about Hinduism, but actively demean the religion. He already has a conclusion in his mind about Hinduism, and he wants to use these people to prove it. This is why it's important to actually study the religion you follow, especially if you decide to tell others about it.
I don't know anything about Hinduism.
Okay.
Let's get a tour. What's this over here?
Okay, this is Lord Murugan.
Okay.
Okay, so there's one
The
event.
red guy up there.
Yep. So he came.
And he's a god?
No, he's not a god. But he came to reside here after having a quarrel with his parents.
Recite, what's that?
He just came here to just be himself and everything.
Okay, so he came to recite to be himself.
Yeah.
All right, and who are these other guys down here? Are these gods?
Yeah, I mean, these are normal people over here. But the main thing is him, Lord Muruga.
So he's not a god.
No, he's not a god.
Do you worship him?
Yep.
Did you say that? Okay, so he's not a god. He's a man.
You mean God, God?
God, yes.
Yeah,
He's not a-
he's the guy. He's the guy. I thought you were talking about a different god over here. He's the guy.
So he is a god.
He is the guy.
This here honestly seems more like a language confusion than anything else. The Hindu guy here clearly doesn't understand what Sneako is asking. Again, Sneako is presupposed into hating Hinduism. He's not a seeker. Again, this is obviously a very uninformed conversation on both ends.
But he's also a man.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. But he's not one of the main gods that.
He's not one of the main guys.
Understand now.
One of the guys.
Okay, so God
Was he crucified too, or was he crucified?
No.
Okay, go on.
Okay, you worship him. Why do you worship him? What makes him a god if he.
Because for Hinduism, for him, he's the Lord of victory and also Lord of warrior. So people last time when they want some victory and everything, they worship him.
They worship him for power.
Yes, for power.
Notice here that Sneako is trying to do something very sneakily. In asking, was he crucified too, Sneako and his buddies are trying to fit Hinduism into the same type of criticism that Muslims push out for Christianity. And when they ask him if they worship Morgan for power, it seems like they're trying to associate Morgan with a demon, and that's not what Hinduism says. Morgan is a deva who is associated with victory, courage, and the destruction of evil. His weapon, the veil, is not just a spear, it represents divine knowledge cutting through ignorance. So yes, Morgan is connected to victory, but that's just not physical victory in battle. He represents spiritual victory, victory over ego, ignorance, fear, and adharma.
And this is...
But so are all the gods strong, or are some gods stronger than other gods?
No. For us, we just feel like everyone is strong at the same level, but they provide for different reasons. Like Murugan is more to victory.
But they fight though, right?
It's not that much of conflict, but last time they had some conflict, but it's not a big deal of it.
So then there is a power because one could beat the other god, right? One god could beat the other god.
Yeah.
This is a horrible way to explain it. But then again, this guy really doesn't seem to know much about Hinduism anyway. Again, I'm not trying to attack this guy, but he just seems like a regular person who got put on the spot and clearly does not know what Sneako is trying to do. Sneako is trying to turn Hinduism into a power scaling battle. It's a childish way to look at religion. Yes, Hindus have stories where devas, asuras, avatars, sages, and kings come into conflict, but this is the concept of Leela, which means divine play, where God acts in the world, appears in different forms, defeats demons, protects devotees, and enters dramatic situations. It is not because God is struggling like a normal person. These stories are largely meant to teach us about the divine and about human nature.
So a normal person took God's wife.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wait.
But it's not the normal person, but he's one of the person with the guy.
Wait, sorry, I didn't understand that. A man stole God's wife?
I mean,
One of the god's wife.
One of the gods.
You're really sweaty, bro. Oh my god. You're bumping into me. It's going to get on me.
One of the god's wife, but the guy who stole the god's wife was not a god, but he's acclaimed to be someone who has powers.
How could a man steal a god's wife? Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
Doesn't that make him a god now? Doesn't he steal the god status?
It was just...
Stole that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
It was like...
I assume they're talking about the Ramayana, where the demon king Ravana abducts Sita and the wife of Lord Ram, who's an incarnation of the Lord Vishnu. Ravana abducting Sita does not make Ravana greater than Rama, it makes Ravana the villain. That is the point of the entire story. Ravana does not steal God's status, he commits adharma, and adharma leads to destruction. Again, this is part of the concept of Leela or divine play.
Hey, by the way, chat, let me point something out. You know, every time I go to Mecca, Medina, I say and show you that there's no bird poop in Mecca or Medina ever on the floor. What do you see all over the floor here, huh? Literally everywhere. Just saying. And I've showed you 4K evidence of this every time I go.
This is literally just Muslim brain rot. The Kaaba and Mecca as a whole have maintenance crews that clean up dirt, bird poop, and other sort of trash. They clean the area constantly. Anyway, now he meets Zakir Naik, who also likes to lie about Hinduism.
So I've given a talk on Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, mentioned in the Hindu scriptures. In one of the Kalki Purana, chapter 2, verse number 5, 7, 11, 14, 15, 17, it even says that his mother's name would be Amina. Father's name would be Abdullah. It says Vishnu Yas. If you translate, it will be Abdullah. He'll be born in the city of peace, that is Makkah. He'll be born in the family of the chief of the city of Makkah. He'll have 4 close companions. He will fight against the devil. He'll have angels.
We already refuted this in the video debunking Lily J when she said this, but I guess we'll repeat it for him. Zakir Naik is trying to claim that Muhammad is Kalki. One of the ways he does this is by comparing Muhammad's father Abdullah to Kalki's father Vishnu Yasha. But that comparison doesn't work. Abdullah means servant of Allah, but Vishnu Yasha does not mean servant of God. It actually means something closer, like one whose glory belongs to Vishnu or honor of Vishnu. Anyway, streamers like Sneako aren't really interested in seeking other religions and actually is just more interested in demeaning Hinduism and other faiths through lies. Thank you for watching. If you have any thoughts, please leave it in the comments. Bye bye.